guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about my labor and delivery story, and we're also going to get a chance to meet Isabel Grace. She's currently sleeping and I know she's going to wake up before this video ends, so we're going to get her on board when she wakes up. Alright, so I don't want this video to be too long, let's just get right into it. Okay, so throughout my pregnancy, everything had been great, has been fine. My blood pressure was great, my sugar levels great, everything perfect, you know. I didn't feel, well, except during the first trimester where I was sick and just nauseous and just really crazy emotions, all that stuff. But after that, everything in my pregnancy was super normal, super chill. I didn't work out or anything like that, but I was still good. My health was great, nothing wrong with that. So at my 30-week appointment, I went to go see my doctor just for my regular checkup, and she was like, everything is okay, everything looks good, it's just that you're measuring a little too small. So like my belly was measuring a little too small. Yeah, she knows that I'm a tiny lady, so she was like, you're probably so small, that's why it's, you know, your stomach, I don't expect your stomach to be too big. But I would still like for you to get an ultrasound so we can make sure baby is doing well and she's growing like she's supposed to, okay? So nothing to worry about. So I booked my appointment during my 31st week. And then I went there, you know, did the ultrasound, all that stuff, and then my husband and I went to go get some lunch. Typically after my ultrasounds, I don't get any call, nothing from the doctor's office. My doctor just emails me and she's like, hey, everything is fine, nothing to worry about. If you have any questions, just let me know, right? So I got a missed call and a voicemail from my doctor's nurse, and she was basically talking. I honestly didn't really pay attention because I was too hungry. So I just basically heard her saying something like, oh, no need to worry, we'll just let you know if there's any issues. And I was like, okay. So I called her back and I was like, what are you trying to say? Like, are you saying there's something wrong and I don't need to worry about it? Or like, what was your message? And she was like, oh yeah, Miss Darlington, you know, it's just that when the ultrasound came back, we realized that your baby's tummy is measuring a little too small. So, you know, we'll just refer the pictures and everything to the high-risk doctor, and then we'll call you back if anything is of concern. And I was like, okay, sure, yeah, sure, just let me know. At that point, I wasn't worried or anything. I was just really calm. I was like, my baby's perfect, everything's great. I was just really chill. So once our food arrived to eat, my doctor's office called me. So my original doctor was not in the office that day, so it was her coworker that called me, and she was like, hey, Miss Darlington, I would like for you to go see a high-risk doctor. You know, your baby's tummy is of a little concern, so we want you to go see a high-risk doctor. And I was like, okay, sure, when can I go? And she was like, oh, I mean, can you go today? Can you go like in 30 minutes? And I was like, yeah, sure, I guess I'll take my lunch to go and just go. So my husband and I took our lunch to go. We went to go see the high-risk doctor, and she basically said the same thing. Hey, your baby's tummy is measuring a little too small. Now she gave me a couple reasons. She was like, well, you know, you're a small girl, so maybe that's why your baby is just tiny as well. Or it could be that your placenta is not working as well. Your baby's not getting enough oxygen or whatever. But that is not the first reason we will look at. So don't be concerned, don't be alarmed. Just come in to see me every week and we'll check your baby and make sure everything is okay. Cool. So I went back the next week, at 33 weeks, and we didn't even do an ultrasound that day. Oh no, we did an ultrasound just to look, you know, make sure the baby's breathing, heartbeat, all that stuff. They checked my blood pressure. My blood pressure was a little high, but it wasn't of concern because they were like, oh, maybe I'm just a little nervous because I have to see the high-risk doctor. So I was just a little nervous. So nothing of concern there. 34 weeks rolls by, and then I go see my high-risk doctor, and that day I was due for measurements. So they took the baby's measurements and everything just to let us know how much she's weighing. So before that, they took my blood pressure, and it was a little high. And so the nurse was like, okay, we'll just check it again once you're done and you're relaxed and everything. So my doctor took my measurements, took the baby's measurement, and she had only grown 3 ounces since the last time that she was measured. So that was like 2 weeks ago. And my doctor was like, okay, that's not really great. That's not what I would like to see, because by now she should have grown at least, I think she said 8 ounces a day or something like that. I don't know, but 3 ounces within 2 weeks was just really small, and she was kind of concerned. And so she was like, yeah, that's not what we like to see. And also, I realized your blood pressure is a little high. Let's take it again and make sure that it's okay. So we took my blood pressure again, and it was high. It was like medium high. And so she was like, okay, you know what? Let's give you a blood pressure monitor to take home with you, measure your blood pressure throughout the day. And she gave me the ranges to look for, you know, what's a concern and what's not a concern. So she gave that to me to give me a blood pressure monitor and all that stuff. And she did explain to me my options. She was like, okay, so it looks like your blood pressure is getting high and your baby's not growing as much as we want her to grow in your uterus. So options could be that in the next couple weeks, if there's no improvement, we're just gonna have to deliver you early, just to make sure that everything is okay with the baby. Because if she's not liking it in there at this point, then the best thing is to get her out and get her in a stable condition. And I was like, okay, sure, that's not fine. At that point, I was not worried. I was still not concerned. You know, I was okay. And then I went home. So that was a Wednesday. The next day, I had my maternity photo shoot planned, guys. I had my maternity photo shoot planned. So I went home. I did the flower crown tutorial. I did it that day, the Wednesday. I did it when I was 34 weeks pregnant. So I was doing it, getting ready for my my maternity photo shoot. You know, walking around the house, and I did feel a little tired. But I kept going. Like, I'm that type of person, when I start doing something, I have to finish. So even though I did feel a little tired and just like strong palpitations, I just sat down, you know, and just kept doing what I was doing. So I got hungry and tired, and I was like, hey babe, you know, I'm gonna check my blood pressure. My husband was home at that day. So I checked my blood pressure, and it was high. It was still high. So my doctor had said if it was within a certain range, I should make sure I call the advice nurse line. So I checked my blood pressure, and then I laid down for a bit. I was like, okay, maybe I've been doing too much, so let me just rest, let me just chill, lay down for a bit. I laid down 5 minutes, and I just didn't feel good. Like, just something in my spirit was like, no, like, you need to call the advice nurse. Like, I just didn't feel right, you know. I couldn't even sleep. Like, I was trying to get some rest and just hopefully it would go down, but I couldn't. And just the Holy Spirit was like, you need to call the advice nurse. You need to call the nurse. So I got up. I was like, hey babe, I think I need to call the nurse. So I checked my blood pressure again just before I called the nurse, and it had gone up a little bit more from, you know, 20 minutes ago. So I called the nurse line, and I told them, hey, my blood pressure is within this range. I think at that point it was like 168 over like 90 or something, 168 over like 90-ish. So I called and I let them know, like, hey, these are the numbers I'm getting. The doctor said to call, blah, 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 blah. So then they asked me a whole bunch of questions. I'm like, yes, no, you know. And then so finally she was like, okay, well, I'm gonna let the doctor on call know, and if they want you to come in, we're gonna call you and let you know what the doctor says. So an hour goes by, and then they finally call me and like, hey, Dr. James is ready for you, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, cool. So that was I had to go to the hospital, Reston Hospital, where I had to deliver. So I was like, hey babe, let's go to the hospital. The doctor wants to see me, you know, make sure this blood pressure thing is okay and blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, you know what? Let's just take our hospital bags just in case, you know. I'm pretty sure it's nothing, but let's just take the hospital bags just in case. Okay, you never know. So we left the house and we went to the hospital. The nurses checked my blood pressure there. It was still high. And then they got me into a room, put me on the monitors and everything, strapped my baby, strapped me up, all that stuff. So they were monitoring my blood pressure, you know, consistently at a certain rate. Then the doctor came in and she checked me to see if I was dilated or anything was going on, like, you know, if there was any labor signs or whatever. So I was just there, just talking to her. She was telling me like my options. It looks like I'm getting preeclampsia, which is high blood pressure due to pregnancy. So she was telling me that my options were, you know, if she starts me on blood pressure medication and it's not going down, my only option would be to deliver the baby. So she was gonna do some tests and make sure if she could rule that out or not. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, let's do the test. Tomorrow I have work, so I'm gonna go to work and let my boss know that I need to be on bed rest and all that. And she was just looking at me like, okay. So I was just there, and then she came back after the test was done, and then my blood pressure was still checking, so I fell asleep actually. My husband was just there. I think he also fell asleep, but I fell asleep, and then the doctor came in like I think 2 hours later or something. It was like, Miss Darlington, we're gonna have to deliver you today. Bruh, what? No, doctor. No, I need to go to work tomorrow and let my boss know that I'm on bed rest. She was like, I don't think you heard me, Miss Darlington. You're not going to work tomorrow. You're gonna have to deliver your baby. I was like, oh my God, I'm not ready. Like at that point, I wouldn't say I had a panic attack, but I just, in my heart, my heart just sunk. I was like, but I'm not ready. Like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to deliver a baby. I'm not ready to go through labor. I'm not ready for any of that. And then she looked at me and she was like, oh, by the way, you're contracting. What? No, I'm not contracting. I don't feel anything. I'm just here, chill, calm. My body is fine. I'm not contracting. I don't feel nothing. She was like, yeah, you're contracting. And then you're like 3 minutes apart. Shouldn't I be feeling that? If they're 3 minutes apart, if they're that close together, like, shouldn't I be feeling something? She was like, no, not necessarily, no. I was like, oh my God, like, I looked at my husband, I was like, babe, like, what? I was like, call my mom, let her know, let her come to the hospital, blah, 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 blah. So then they transferred me to the delivery room where, it was a much bigger room. Thank God we brought our hospital bags. So the doctor was like, since I have preeclampsia, they have to put me on magnesium because I am at a risk of getting a stroke or seizure. So they had to start me on magnesium. I was like, oh my God. Like at that point, my heart, I was like, God, please do not take me out like this. God, like, guys, I'm gonna be really honest. I was scared. I was really scared. At that point, my faith was like, whoosh. My faith was like out the window. I was just scared for my life. They started me on magnesium, and she was like, it's gonna give you like flu-like symptoms. It's not really good with the symptoms, so that's gonna be like one of the worst things for you. And she was not kidding. Like that stuff had me like, I felt horrible. I felt like woozy. I felt like I had been hit with a ton of bricks. I felt really, really like low and just draggy. I don't know. I don't even have words to describe how I felt at that point. So yeah, and then she came, the doctor kept checking on me. She started me on Cytotec. She inserted the pill in there or whatever to start me, to soften my cervix or whatever, to start me to dilate and whatnot. So she decided to induce labor so we can try to do a vaginal birth. So she inserted the thing, and within a couple minutes, I started feeling like cramps. Nothing serious, nothing like that. So just cramps. I was just cramping, stuff like that. An hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. She came back to check on me to see if I had dilated or anything like that. No, nothing had happened. So at that point, they were switching shifts. So I had a female doctor at first. She was super cool, super nice, awesome lady. And then I had the next doctor was a man, which I was not too happy about because I don't like men gynecologists working on me. I've never had a man gynecologist. I've never ever wanted that because I just don't. So I was a little nervous, and then the female doctor was like, oh, don't worry, he has a lot of experience. I'm like, yeah, that's not my problem. I'm sure he does, but I just don't want a man. I just don't. But lo and behold, the doctor came, and then he had to insert the the second pill, and I was like, oh Lord, no. This man had huge fingers. He had huge fingers, guys. I'm telling you that the worst part of my entire experience was that part. Him putting that. I cried, guys. I'm not kidding. I cried. It was so painful. Like, I was holding my husband and I was like, ah! It really hurt. And then he had the nerve to be like, oh, I got big hands. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. He had large hands. And he's some skinny man too. I'm like, but anyways, that hurt. And then later on, he came to check on me to see if I was dilating or whatnot. And I had effaced completely, but I still hadn't dilated. At this point, I was cramping. It wasn't bad. It was just like period pains, honestly. It was very tolerable. There were some times that I had to breathe through it, but it really was nothing I hadn't seen before. So it got to a point where it was just uncomfortable. It wasn't painful and like, it wasn't painful to the point where I couldn't bear it. It was just uncomfortable. You know, it was an uncomfortable pain. So I decided to go for the epidural, guys. I decided to go for the epidural, not because I was in such an excruciating pain, just because I was uncomfortable and I didn't want to go from like a 20 to 100 real quick. So I was trying to avoid that. I was like, you know what, let me just get the epidural now, just in case like I go from a 20 to 100, you know, let me just get it. So I got the epidural and everything was great. Everything was great. I was just chilling, no pains, no uncomfortable feelings. And guys, I'm gonna insert it in here that I do regret. I regret getting the epidural, not because of the side effects people say it's gonna give you, or you know, the reason why people are like, oh, don't do epidural, it's horrible, blah 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 blah. No, epidural was great. The needle was this tiny. It was just a smooth process. But let me tell you why I regretted getting the epidural. I regretted it because I didn't need it. Well, not at that point, I guess. I didn't need it because, like, literally an hour after I got it, the doctor comes in and he's like, your baby's not tolerating the contractions. You know, you're contracting too fast, and she's not getting enough time to recover after contraction after contraction. So it looks like the best thing to do right now is to have an emergency cesarean. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, throughout my pregnancy, even before I got pregnant, guys, I had been scared of labor and delivery. Like, I had been really scared. Like there were times that I was like, you know what, like I wish I could even schedule a C-section. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm really gonna be honest, guys. I was a little bit relieved when the doctor said they were gonna do a cesarean, because I was that scared of labor and delivery, like vaginal birth. I was scared of tearing. I was just scared. I was scared, guys. So a little bit of happiness for me. I felt a little bit of happiness when the doctor said they had to do a cesarean, emergency C-section. But then he did say that C-sections also are the hardest to recover from. So I was like, you know what, fine, let's go ahead, let's do it. And like 5 minutes later, nurses rushing in the hospital, in my room, just like coming from every angle. Like, I was still kind of like in and out because of the magnesium the doctor gave me. So like, I was like literally my eyes were like that the whole time. I was in and out. So all I remember was one of the nurses was literally like moving the monitor on my stomach, like vigorously, like moving it every second, like moving it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like calm down, like that's a little uncomfortable, like chill. So apparently, according to my mom at that point, Isabel's heart rate could not be found. They couldn't find it. So that's why the nurse is moving around like all the time, and these other nurses are unplugging stuff, removing this, talking this, you know, getting me ready for surgery. So I just see white light. I was just laying there seeing white light go, like, you know, like in those horror movies when like a butcher is going to go like cut cut some human being open or whatever, like you just see the lights. Yeah, that's how I felt like. So I just went into the room. I remember them saying like my husband was coming with me, so he had to like suit up or whatever. And yeah, I just felt my legs become really numb. At that point, they put me on the operating table, did the whole anesthesia, whatever. I couldn't feel my legs. And you know, I was just feeling really horrible because of the magnesium. Like I was just there, like honestly, I wanted to like sleep during the surgery because I felt so tired and my eyes were so tired, but I was scared that I wasn't gonna wake up again, guys. Like I was so scared I wasn't gonna wake up. Like the way I was feeling, I felt horrible. I felt crappy. That magnesium really like made me crappy. So I was just there going in and out like that, my eyes, and I was just like, God, like when is this over? Like I was uncomfortable. Like it took just a few minutes to get Isabel out, because that's like the shortest part of the surgery, and the longest part I guess is sewing me up. So I just remember my husband sitting next to me. I was like, you got this, babe, you got this, babe, you know, you're good, you're strong, and all that stuff. And then he was like, oh my God, she's out, Isabel is here. And then he like ran and goes to go see her.
Take a picture of how big she is, Daddy.
Hey baby girl. Hey baby girl.
She's like, I'm so sleepy.
I know she's tired.
She says, well, I'm supposed to be napping, and these people made me.
She's beautiful. Look at your hair, Isabel.
And length was 44.
Look at your hair, Isabel.
Isabel.
Wow.
So cute. I was just there like still like, Lord, please keep me alive. Lord, please don't take me out like this. Lord, please. Guys, I'm telling you, it was real. So they cleaned her up, did everything they had to do, measure her, weigh her and everything. And then like they brought her over. I'm gonna insert some videos in here for you guys. They brought her over and they were like, Mommy, you see her? I was like, oh, Isabel.
You did it, baby.
All right, give Mommy a kiss. Yeah. Mommy, she's doing okay. We're just gonna get her up and help her a little bit, okay? And we'll talk to you some more. Okay?
Bye, Izzy.
Bye, sweetie. Daddy, I'll come talk to you, and it'll probably be 45 minutes or an hour while we get her settled. So don't worry.
Guys, like I could barely open my eyes to even see the girl. That was how gone I was. Like I could barely. Like I was like, oh, she's so pretty. Like I could not even see the girl. I mean, and then the nurse was like, okay, give Mommy a kissy. They took her away to the NICU, and then they were sewing me up. I just got really cold. Like I was shivering my butt off. Like I was just shivering on the table, shivering like crazy. The anesthetics brought me like some hot sleeve that was blowing hot air on me. It was not working. I was shivering like crazy. They finished sewing me up, took me to the recovery room, shivering like crazy. Like it was crazy, guys. Like I was just shivering like crazy everywhere. And the doctor was like, oh, that's normal. You know, your body just went through a lot of trauma. Izzy is here, guys. She's a little fussy because she just woke up. Say hi. Say hi, Mama. Say hi. Say hi to everybody. Hi. Okay, let's continue the story. So, yeah, the doctor was like, yes, normal, you're gonna be shaking, your body just went through a lot of trauma. One thing that I was just really scared of was that I was gonna get like the whole stroke and seizure thing. So, because I remember when people would ask me questions and I'll nod yes. Guys, I nod yes for like a couple of seconds. I'm like, you know, like my head keeps bopping. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? I'm scared, like what's gonna happen? You know, like a lot of things were happening to me, and I was just like, Lord, please see me through this, see me through this, see me through this. Baby girl was in NICU. Apparently she was also gone in and out because of the magnesium. It affected her. So she was in the NICU also with her eyes like literally gone and just like basically drunk, you know, off of magnesium. So even when my husband showed me the videos, her eyes was like, you know, woozy, and she tried to open her eyes but she couldn't because she was so sleepy and so drugged. And I was like, oh, my baby girl, my baby girl. yeah, guys, that was my experience. Recovery was really painful. I mean, if you're a mother and you had C-section, you know that recovery is hard. Like, you can't even laugh, you can't cough, you can't, oh God, you can't sneeze because it's so painful. Like, I had to learn the hard way. I found ways to let go of my sneeze. I'm like, you're not about to sneeze today. So I just found ways to not sneeze, made sure I didn't laugh. When my friends came over, I was like, look, you're not about to crack no jokes because I ain't finna laugh. Yeah, but you know, gradually you get better. Seeing your baby girl, you get better. And I will do a separate video about her NICU experience and my experience with her being in NICU. Oh, she's sleepy. You're sleepy, mama. Yeah, guys, so that's my story. That's my labor and delivery story. I'm just really thankful that God saw me through it all. Everything, you know, everything worked out great, and I'm doing very, very, very well. So Isabel Grace is here. Well, she's been here for a while. But yeah, that's my story, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys finish your popcorns. So I will see you guys in my next video. It will be coming to you very soon. Say bye, mama. Say bye, mama. Say bye. Say bye-bye. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. See ya later.